Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. Roughly half of this sweep of liquidation has occurred, upwards about 97,400 as a rough estimate. 98.5 is that upper level of liquidation. So I still have this chart pulled up from yesterday just so you can kind of see. We can see 98,000, 98.5 right there is that heavy concentration. So we'll go ahead and refresh here and kind of see what's going on. And if you're new to this channel, while we're waiting for that, hit the like button, comment below. Greatly appreciate any and all support you can provide there. So let's take a look here. We zoom in here on the left-hand side. This is the last 7 days of liquidation. We can recognize, again, see 97.5 roughly to 98.5. It's that massive concentration liquidation. So there's two potential scenarios here. You wait for the price to come up to that level, consider shorting at the 98.5 to 100,000 mark, which seems sensible, or possibly consider a long between now and then. Now again, I'm throwing out both scenarios because it depends on what kind of trader you are, but more importantly, we are tentatively above a previous resistance level at 95.5, and of course we have above that local point of control, broken a trend line. There's a lot of reasons why we're in pretty decent shape here, and again, I'm not screaming to the high heavens that we are absolutely bullish on Bitcoin. We are far ways from that, but I would say tentatively bullish on Bitcoin to the $100,000 mark as a rough estimate. So let's take a look here though at liquidation delta. We're still seeing more shorts in the market, of course, here at this point. And of course, if we were to zoom out a little bit here just to get some perspective, we can see that there's growing liquidation at the local range, but we're still in the middle of that massive, large area, if you will. Because again, that 103 to 106 range is still a pretty big deal. But for right now, we got to get through 100,000 in order to be able to pretty much see that. So just know that that is a thing. Let's take a quick look here at open interest and see where people are hedged the most. Still, again, as per usual, we can see here. Actually, no, sorry. Let's refresh this. This isn't updated yet. Because again, before we were at 95.5 with a lot of late longs that were underwater. Now, tentatively, they are break even. Okay, so a lot of folks that are heavy right now are heavy in the 94 to 95.5K range. All right, so it's helpful for us, letting us know there's probably some support in that range if we were to come back down a little bit lower and retest that level. So that's mostly positive. Let's take a look at the daily and kind of see what's going on here. This hasn't changed too much, I'm sure, but let's double check a few things because we were still fairly bearish yesterday. But if you look at this doji candle, that is a pretty big monster. It's probably hard to see. Maybe this chart might be better, but you can kind of see there's a pretty significant doji candle that pretty much implies that the price action opened at the same place that it closed, and effectively all that selling pressure didn't work out the way that it should have, and commonly you'll see a reversal from there. So usually when you see a doji candle of that magnitude, the price action will reverse itself. So let's take a quick look here at see a daily time frame, moving averages. We're still tentatively below the 20-day SMA, or right there at it, basically. It's hanging out right there at about 95,600. So a closure at 95.6 today would be super solid. Of course, we saw the price wake up here to this upper fib level at 97.5, rejected there initially. It's common for that to happen the first time. We take a look here at the RSI though, right at 50 as well. So this is a good sign, kind of showing that we have good momentum. The price is trying to get broken through that level. We can see MACD's trying to switch to converging here, and the stochastic is, of course, swinging up. So these are mostly positive signs here. I'm not kind of telling you here that this is a phenomenal situation and that you should take a long to 120,000, but I am saying that generally speaking, when you see this kind of price action on the daily, it's an early sign, kind of letting us know that the shift in momentum is happening. And the 4-hour time frame should be able to confirm that for us. So let's see here. First of all, minus the 200-day SMA, we're above the two important SMAs. First of all, 95.5 has a lot of confluence with moving averages, supports, resistances, fib levels. We can kind of see here 95.5, 95.4, both moving averages, the 100 and the 50-day SMA are right there. And that's a good sign. Same thing with the 20-day SMA hanging out below it, right there at 94.3, that local point of control. Also a good confirming factor. So hypothetically, here and here are good considerations for longs. We move on to the RSI. We can recognize that the RSI is broken over 50, closed above that level, and we're looking pretty solid here. Of course, stochastic is topping out, but I'm not super concerned with that. That does make perfect sense as to why that would happen. Based on the overextension here, we can see, you go from bottom to top, it's almost a 10% correction from 90 or 88,000, or what, I guess 89,000 rather, to 97K. And we can see, of course, too, MACD is still converging. There's a lot of positivity here, letting us know that this shift in momentum is happening, okay? So obviously, it's potentially here to stay. I would say the likelihood of further upside, if the cloud is showing us what we want, is pretty high. All right, good. So let's talk about this here. Lagging spans free and clear, check number one, generally a good sign to take it long. We can see the actual cloud itself kind of dipping, but consolidating itself here, right there at this support range. So I'm guessing 94.3 will be a pretty solid support if the price pulls back to that level. Same thing as well with the conversion line being above the baseline. We have 3 out of 3 reasons here as to why a long position makes a lot more sense than a short position for Bitcoin. And I know yesterday I was talking about shorting at 98,000. And you got to recognize too, folks, that the market shifts quickly and it changes, and sometimes you kind of gotta flip the script. Now, I'm not telling you just hit the old reverse button if you're in a short, but if you're in profit right now, you may want to consider adjusting your stop loss into profit to ensure you're not over leveraging. But the truth is here, what we were hoping for, even though it was less likely, has happened where the price action broke through its key level resistance. It has since retested that range and is more likely than not going to go higher. And it may also, keep in mind, it may has a secondary consideration for entry, 94,300. That may also still be a potential reality for us. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I'll go ahead and get you an update on what I feel might happen here next. But it seems sensible for the price to leg up once more to sweep this upper level of liquidation. So if you're going to consider a long, ensure you secure profits between now and 98,500, just because that's kind of a safer place. You don't want to get too crazy. Don't set a profit target at 101,000. That's notoriously a strong resistance at 100K mark. So it makes more sense to secure profits between now and then. But again, it depends on what kind of trader you are. But this is the type of scenario that I typically try to look for. We've broken free from our previous highs, establishing as new lows. I think there's a solid chance we go higher from here. It may not be super substantial, but it will be a short-term push to 98.5/100,000. I think that's pretty likely at this point. So that's kind of where we're at there. I'll post, again, a playout chart here soon. If you're part of our community, again, quick congratulations on our recent profits here, of course, from our Bitcoin short to the 89,000 mark. And again, it's important not to get too blindsided and just be stuck on one thing. We got in, we got out with that profits, and we're not holding a short open to the downside anymore. We took what we could out of it, right? Now, the reason I'm showing this here is make sure you tune into our trade alerts and our signals guide too. If you're not familiar, these are all here for you. Good resources of information. Just to make sure you're on top of how to become a little bit better of a trader if you're going to be using my signals. So it's all there for you, folks. I hope you learned something today. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you soon. Take care.